come to play.
Oh, look
But
at
every
you.
break back, now I'm letting go. I make my own choice. Yeah, I run this show. So leave the lights on. No, you can't make me behave.
Yes.
So you say I'm
Oh, I
complicated.
gotta get really into it.
Work it, girl. Work it. Yes. Love it.
Okay,
Oh my
okay.
gosh. How exciting is that?
Before I take off my sweatshirt. Well, welcome everybody to the Mom Link. This is our daily introduction of some of our kick-ass people that have just joined our community. And one of the biggest things that we love to do when you join our community is we love to shine the light on you. We want to make sure that you feel welcomed. We want to make sure that you get some return on your investment right away because we're all about ROI. And
Right.
so my biggest thing is like, let's go live with each person, introduce them to the community, get what it is that they do out into the world to our platform so that you, Melanie, have the opportunity to meet new people, collaborate with new people, and of course, have that ROI. We want you to make your money back on your investment, which is incredible. So today we have, yay. So today we have teacher Melanie, and we're going to be spotlighting her. I am super, super, super pumped to have her. I would love to know, Melanie, what was it that drew you in to the Mom Link? Like that first, like, oh man, I gotta be a part of this.
So the first, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Heather, for allowing me to share on this platform. So what drew me to the link was the word mom. I am a mom to 3 little divas, 9, 11, and 12.
Okay.
So my life is never a dull moment. And so I've always enjoyed connecting with other moms in their journeys. And when I saw the Mom Link, and it raised the eyebrow, just like, okay, we are specific in this group. And oftentimes, in our journey of motherhood, sometimes it can be frustrating, it could be challenging, it could be lonely. And just to get in an environment where there are other moms and moms who are also entrepreneurs or whatever journey that they're on,
Right.
that drew me. I mean, to a point where I can be here. I can be here. And then just being in the room and the environment and just like, okay, this is not just a group of moms. This is a group of moms who have power, who are about supporting each other. This is not a crab. You get yours, I'm gonna get mine, you figure it out. It was like, listen, no, I know something.
Mm-hmm.
I know something. You can do this. You can do this. Oh, how about this? And you're like, wait, you sharing? So this is what we do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that drew me to realize, okay, so I'm not alone out here. There are other moms who have the same mindset of wanting to support each other. Or I like to say just women making money moves, like to support each other on their journey, whatever that journey may be for them. So that's what drew me.
Oh, well, we're so happy to have you in the community. We really, really are. And I just feel your energy. I love your smile. I love your energy. I love that you just feel this vitality for life coming from you. So I'm so happy to be getting to know you better. So I would love for you to give us some background on how you became a business and financial coach, specifically helping moms start those home-based businesses.
Well, so I've always had businesses, and what was always drawn to me, I used to be a classroom teacher and a district administrator. And so something that was important to me was time and financial freedom. And as much as I love education, I love teaching, hence Teacher Melanie, I knew that was not going to give me the life that I wanted to have with my family. Prior to becoming a mom, it was a challenge to even get to that point. And I never wanted to miss a moment with my children. And so once I realized that, okay, so somebody else is going to get to teach them, see them make their first walk, talk, all those type of things, but I'm going to just hear about it. Oh, by the way, mom, or we have a video. And I was like, I want to be the first. I wanted to be their first teacher. And so I realized that in order for me to get to that point, I needed to be able to start a home-based business, even though I've always had businesses, but specifically to help other moms, to get them to realize that they have passions, they have ideas and concepts. And I knew for me starting out, I had to figure out a lot of things.
Yes.
And I knew that I wanted to help them to eliminate not having to figure out those things, right? To know, I knew where some of the line moms were. I wanted to make sure that they knew where the line was before they even got started, so they can be successful and not feel like, oh no, I can't do that. I have my family, I have this responsibility. They can't see themselves getting out of their minds and into the market face, right? Because of the unknown. And so for me, getting in this space of being a home-based business financial coach was like, for moms, that was a no-brainer. Then on top of that, I'm also a licensed life insurance agent and also a licensed securities rep. So I'm like, listen, I'm about the full picture, right? Because it's like, mom, it's one thing to make the money, but it's the other thing to keep the money as well and have your money working for you just as hard as you are working for it. So
I love that.
Yeah. So for me, it's a one-stop party shop when it comes to making sure that you're building your financial house right, but you're building your financial house right and tight, because now you're putting yourself in the position of creating this legacy, for creating this opportunity. Because now once you know better as a mom, when it comes to financial independence, now you can teach your children. And it's so amazing, because I also homeschool my children on top of that. And so when we talk about buying and spending and all these things, their language is not like, oh, mommy, can we go and buy? They're like, mommy, can we see my money grow? Right. Our favorite game is Monopoly, right? It's just like,
I love that game too. So fun.
Everybody want to play Monopoly to see who's going to get the most assets. But during those times, I'm teaching. Every opportunity, there's a teachable moment. So it's not just outside of a classroom. And so that's what I get to do. And so helping other mothers to give them that power, that they really need to recognize that you are your child's first teacher. There are so many things. It doesn't stop. There might be different stages, but it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So
and I like how you position yourself with intention, because I don't think a lot of moms do that. For me, I was drawn here and there, and I was very stressed out, especially when my kids were very small.
Yes.
And so a lot of the decisions that I made for myself and the family was how to not be stressed out. So it really didn't have anything to do with how can I grow our income and how can I teach the kids to grow income. I didn't know, I wasn't taught that stuff when I was growing up.
Right.
I didn't have the tools to then turn around. So I love that you're doing this with intention, and I love that you're helping other moms, because believe it or not, I think more of us need this. We might not be aware that we need it until someone like you comes along. We feel the inspiration from your story and we're like, wow, I really need this too. So I love that. I love that. So let's talk about launching and scaling a business, because this piece can be really intimidating for a lot of moms. So how do you help them to address and overcome any of those fears and insecurities that could come up during the launching and the scaling process?
I'm glad you asked that. So first thing I do is that I deal with their mindset, right? I find out where they are in their present moment of life. What's their relationship with money? What has been their experience when it comes to seeing themselves in an entrepreneurship capacity? Do they see themselves always working, or do they have an idea or a concept that they've thought about, but they never realized that, I can make money from this? So I deal with mindset first. I deal with what's your relationship with money. Are you a spender? Are you a saver? Okay. Because all that is a part of the entrepreneurship, because what you do in your personal will foster in your business as well. So helping them to identify.
That is true.
We as much as we don't want to, we're like, no, I'm gonna make sure, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it, right? And so even if you do it right now, how can you learn some new skill sets? So teaching them some new skill sets when it comes to their money relationship and their mindset on top of that. And so once I teach them that, okay, so now that we've identified your relationship with your money, right, whether you've had a past trauma or not, because like for myself, My husband and myself, we experienced some past trauma with money. You know, we had 13 investment properties, and we end up losing 11 out of them
Whoa.
through foreclosure short sales. When the market crashed, we crashed with it.
Wow.
And so it became a learning process. But what it also did, it empowered me to say, listen, that happened, but you can rebuild.
Mhm.
And so if they've experienced a trauma, right, they've never understand the money game like you shared. Now I can teach you, say, listen, that has happened, but it doesn't have to define you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be your continued story.
Correct.
Like maybe that
correct,
was your
correct.
chapter 1 over here. But
Yeah.
like this could be maybe you should use this in your promo. This could be your chapter 2. That's funny.
You get it.
Yeah.
You totally get it. Absolutely. This could be your chapter 2 or 3 for that matter. Who knows? Right? Because if you've never been taught, right, you've been caught, then it's going to continue until somebody comes in, until you get that aha moment. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And there's like a cycle. And then when you get married, you know, your partner could have a total, like this is what comes up in my world. So a lot of what takes sex off the table is money fights.
That's correct.
So, you know, if you don't have your money right, a lot of times you don't want to even have it, you know, and someone touch you, you know. So, yeah, it's like one person wants to save and the other person wants to spend. So, this wasn't even on my question list, but now that we're talking about it, what do you do? Like if someone is married or in a committed relationship and they had like there's one saver and one spender and they just can't come to a compromise, like how do you even get them to compromise?
That is a tight topic.
Yes, it is.
And
it's real. Like it comes up all the time.
It's real. It's very much real. And I can say that just from my experience with my husband, where at first when we were in our journey of, you know, financial and what have you, and a lot of times he would want to talk about it, and I'm just like, listen, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing all this, whatever the case may be, it is what it is. And it's just like, no, we need to have a conversation and see what's going on. I need to know what's going on so we can make decisions together. And I used to be very offensive.
Okay.
And so what I had to do for myself was just like, Melanie, it's not personal.
Yeah.
This is business.
Yes.
All right. For me, I had to say it's not personal. This is business, right? Especially when it's somebody that you love and they have a vision for your family. And it took a while for God to reveal that to me, to say, listen, he's not trying to make you feel like you're not doing, you know, a good job. He's trying to make sure that you continue, you feel supported, and that you can be on the same page.
Right.
And so what I do is just like, listen, I know that is a very hard thing to talk about, you know, those moms, if they are married. And I always ask them and say, what is your relationship with your husband when it comes to money as well? Do you all have conversations? Do you all sit and plan together? Because if you're doing something and he's not supporting you, then you're going to be spinning your wheels and you're going to wondering why I can't progress.
I like want to cry right now because this literally came up in our marriage. Yeah, because like I was wanting to save and then my husband was over here wanting to spend. And because I'm a people pleaser, you know, which I think a lot of us women are, and we don't want to have fights. We want to make sure everyone's getting along okay. We want to make sure that we feel loved and supported in other areas of our marriage. Sometimes we can let these things slide, which is what I did. So I was here like saving, and then here my husband was spending. And I felt like, man, I have this goal, I have this vision. And like you said, like it's a business. So our family could be a business. It's like you're looking at every part of the family. And if you look at it like a business, I mean, it's more like bringing that professionalism. It's not just making emotional decisions all the time. It's not like, oh, I had a bad day at work, so I'm going to go buy a new shirt or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what happened with us. And we had to get to a place of compromise. But oh my God, it took so many different conversations and even a therapist to help us to finally get our S together. It was really, really difficult. But this comes up a lot. And this is why people divorce, you know, as well, because they're not on the same page with their finances. So I'm so like, I can't even begin to tell you how excited that I am that you're bringing this to our community, because females need this. Our community needs this. And we also need to know that we can empower ourselves with our money, even when we are in a relationship, because if we can empower ourselves, that can trickle in
Mhm.
to where your partner can start to feel that empowerment too, and can see the
Correct.
goodness behind and the why behind why you're wanting to grow the money instead of spending it.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Your,
You know,
your
I'm
friend your
glad
friend
that you.
David's saying hi, by the way. I don't know if you can see.
Oh.
Mr. David Jones. What's up, David?
This great. Yes, it's a conversation, and I said it's a difficult conversation. But once you have that conversation, and you lay it on the table, tears are going to be
Yes.
shed, emotions are going to be dealt with. But once you can get over that hump and deal with it, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
it's way better on the other side.
what?
Mhm.
And the makeup is good too. Just saying. Let's just say that. Let's say it. Oh my God, I know.
It was so much fun. Well, let's talk about the passion. How do you help to get the moms to identify their passion? So I know there must be like a guidance process that you take them through. So how do you do that? How do you guide them into discovering their true calling and then aligning it with, wow, I could make some serious cash from this.
So what I do is that once I get a mom, we're having a conversation, and so I let them literally they just have diarrhea of the mouth. They're telling me all the things that they've done, what they like, what they didn't like, but then something happens. There's a point where there's something that they'll say multiple times.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And they'll say it again, but something changed in their appearance, in their body language. So I'm reading all of this.
Yep.
I'm reading all of this. And then I ask them, say, so listen, according to what you said this, and you've said it a couple of times. And I can see them, which I absolutely love when this moment happens. They sit back and they're just like, yeah. Matter of fact, yeah. I said, that's what you're gonna do. Once they get to that point, they realize that, okay, wait, I'm not all over the place. They get to that point, and we've identified, I've helped them to identify and say, okay, this is what you've said. This is how this is going to be done. This is how it can be make some cash with it, right? These are the areas that you can utilize this. Oh, and by the way, the other things that you said that you like to do, they will get to be added into them. But first, we gotta start with this, because this is going to drive you whether you get paid or not.
Yeah, like it
It's
wakes
a
you up. Like it makes you feel
Yes.
like excited about going to bed
Yes.
and waking up the
Yes.
next day and like doing it. And a lot of times I have found that with our
Mhm.
passion, because I'm also a business coach aside with
Yes.
the Christian sex coaching, but I have found
Mhm.
with myself, when I coach myself and when I've received coaching from other people and now when helping other people as well, is, man, it's the
Mhm.
thing that feels the easiest. It's the thing that comes the most natural. It's the thing that lights you up. You have a lot of fun doing it. It's
Oh,
super,
yeah.
super natural. You're giggling, you're laughing, you feel like a little girl when you're doing it. Like those things to me are what stirs the passion and points to the passion. So I love that you watch people's body language. As a matter of fact, when we were on the call together, Melanie, before you joined the Mom
Yeah.
Link, I heard your voice. So I was, I
Wow.
listen, on those
Yes.
calls, and I can tell when someone's voice, they get really excited because all of a sudden their voice is supercharged and full of
Yeah.
energy, and I can tell when they're smiling. And so when we were on our call together, I was like, let's talk more about that.
Yeah, I'm a smiler. I
Me too.
love to smile.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
my father always says to me, so 64.
64?
64. He likes to call me 64. He said, everybody got 32, but you got 64. Okay.
But you're not 64. That's not what you're saying, right?
No,
Okay, because
no,
I'm like,
no.
you look super young. I was gonna start to have some jealousy right now. Like,
Oh my God, how awesome is it? No, I'm not in my 60s yet.
all right, this is fun. I'm having so much fun. Is everyone having fun? Make some comments. Give Melanie some shout outs. Thank you, David, for sharing her website link. I really appreciate you. That's amazing. All right, so let's move into the legacy portion, which I
Mhm.
love. I love talking about legacy. Creating legacy is super, and if it's not feeling super important to you yet, it should be, because as we all know, we're not going to all be here forever, and you want to
Yes.
feel like you're leaving something for your family, right? So
Mhm,
creating a
mhm.
legacy, you told me, is a very important aspect of your coaching. So I would love for you to elaborate on how you guide moms to not only have those successful businesses, but also create that
Mhm.
meaningful legacy for their families.
Gosh, so I show them how to build their financial house,
Okay.
right? And so once I show them how to build their financial house in their personal, how they're going to also build their financial house in their
Hmm.
business. And so I talk about the foundation. The foundation is, and you just said it, this is, we're not going to be here all our lives, right? Unfortunately, life does happen, and as uncomfortable as it is to talk about it, we want to make sure that we're prepared. So you are sending money from heaven. That's what I like to say. You're sending money from heaven, and you're
Oh,
creating that
I
life.
like that.
So things that start, yeah. So it's not like, oh gosh, no, I don't want to. I never want to think about it. I was that way as well. But once I understand what happens when it doesn't happen,
Oh,
you don't need that life insurance. You
oh yeah,
don't have
I've
that
seen it.
saving on invest, right? And as noble as GoFundMe is, as much as the t-shirt sale or the
Mhm.
fundraiser may be, but it's not going to sustain a family
Yeah.
for months, years thereafter.
Hmm.
And so once they understand that, and so once I take them to that, I say, what's the foundation? Okay, great. We have the foundation. Now we're going to put the walls. We're going to put the roof up. What is that? That's our estate planning, right? That's where the will and the trust comes in. No, you don't need to think like, oh gosh, that's only for a select few. I don't have a whole lot. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I show them
Yeah,
what
we
they
have way
have,
more than we think. Mhm.
way more than we think, right? And so what's that estate? Do you have a living will? Do you have a power of attorney? Hey, by the way, you said, oh, my children are all grown, but by the way, if life happens and you have to take care of your child, you could not legally do so.
Wow.
So is there a power? Is there a power of attorney in place? And it doesn't take a whole lot. They identify that. Then we say, okay, by the way, great. We have the walls up. We have our foundation. We have the roof up. What's the levels? Okay, your budget. What's coming in? What's coming out? Do you know your numbers? Do you know what's coming in? What's coming out? Right? Are we organized in that matter?
Do you look
And
at
then
your
once they
money?
do you look at the
You know,
money?
I'm
Right?
like,
Do you?
yeah, every week I'm like, you know what? I don't really feel like going in and balancing my money and seeing stuff, because I like to make the money. It's not real fun to watch it disappear. So sometimes, you don't really like to look to see the real reality. But then when you're not looking as often as you should, man, that's when you end up spending stuff that you don't really have. So I know.
Heather, you said it right there. Just
I'm like
yesterday,
I'm
before I
like
go any
telling
further.
you guys all my business. That's fine. That's fine.
Just yesterday when we were playing Monopoly with my
Yeah.
kids, and one of my daughters, the money was all over the place. The money was here. She had the property card was over here, and I'm like, we got to stop, okay? And I said, sweetie, you have to organize your money.
Mhm.
But she's like, mommy, we're having fun. I said, I understand. We're having fun, but let me tell you, what you do now, this little moment right here, you will do it as an adult.
Damn.
So I want you to be organized now, because this little fun time now, when you get older, it's not going to be fun. When you realize, gosh, I had $100 and I don't know what happened to it. It's going to pass through your head just that
Like
fast.
water.
So let's organize it. She was just like, oh, but mommy, I don't want to.
Oh,
But now that
so
seed,
cute.
yeah, that seed now, whether she goes further with that seed now has been sown.
Yeah.
She's going to think about it. It's the same way. And so same thing with what I do with my moms, to say, okay, what's your budget? Let's look at it. I want you to take a week. I literally see how much money you're spending. Oh my gosh. When they realize,
Don't make me do it, Melanie. Don't make me do it.
Heather, you know what happens? Do you know what she was? Their mind is like, oh my god! I said, you see that little $25 that you do that ends up being $100? So you're just like, By the way, if you would have taken that, just even a half of it, or even a little less than half, and just put that in some type of saving and investing, this is what you can have.
Yeah.
You can see the fruits of your
It's
labor.
like the same with our weight loss. Like if you ever got on a weight loss, it's like you got to write down all the food that you eat, because you don't really know you know, like what you're putting in until you write it down sometimes, because we
Oh
get
gosh.
busy and then you forget. Oh, one thing that I was curious about. So you're building this legacy.
Mhm.
It sounds like building blocks. I'm like, oh, Legos. I have 3 boys, so we like always play
Yeah.
Legos. So do you, once they've established that and they can see and they see the bigger picture and all of that, are you helping
Yes.
them to turn around and teach how to continue the legacy with their children? Because I've seen it, and even on movies, you see where like, man, a man, for instance, will get this amazing business. He's got tons of employees. He's done really well. He's made a huge impact on the world, and he passes. And then
Mm.
the company goes to the kids, and the kids don't know jack about running a
Right.
business. So then they run it into
Mhm.
the ground. So to continue the legacy, so it can go generation, are you also teaching them the skills on how to then pass that to the kids?
Yes, yes, because I teach it to my kids. So I said, listen, this is what I share with my children when it comes to wealth building, when it comes to money. But I get them involved in the
Oh,
business.
good.
Yes, I get them involved in the business because I want them to see and know and understand what all happens to it. They see mommy working. They see me doing. I'm up later, or I'm up early, and they see it, and then I show them and I exactly, okay, this is what happened. This is what this is for. This is why I'm doing this, and having conversations as well. You know, as I said, I'm a homeschool mom, so one of the things that I also do in my homeschool, even with some of the children that I teach outside of mine, is teaching them financial literacy skills. So that's a big project that I have coming up, that I'm creating the curriculum that moms to say, here, you know, you're a part of me. This is something that you're going to take as well and do it with your children, no matter what stage that they're in. Because even when they're young, they still know, gimme, gimme,
Oh,
gimme.
yeah. Maybe I can still be like that.
So now you can see, oh, you know, here's a little game you can do, and this is the conversations that you can have, and not feel intimidated by that. Because once they're empowered, oh my gosh, now they can empower their children because now they know better,
Yeah.
right? So they know better. We're gonna do better. We're gonna make sure our children are also doing better as well.
Man, I love that. So, what are some financial tips or practices that you recommend to moms starting a home-based business so that we can have that longevity of the financial stability?
Well, one thing about it is, if you've never read the book, which I love, it's called Pay Yourself First. Or it's not Pay Yourself First, but that's the concept. Pay your first. It's pay first, something like
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's a great, yes, it's a great book when it comes to helping you to realize that it doesn't matter what's coming into your business. Take something and put that aside for yourself, right? It's the same thing with your budget. You pay yourself first. If you go to church, you do a tithes, you're giving, right? But then you are the next person that should get something from that. Then
I can
everybody
tithe
else.
myself, Melanie?
You can tithe yourself, honey. Because if you don't tithe yourself, you can then if you don't save your money can't save you later.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
And so this is when, and I talk about these principles because I said, listen, guys, we talk about wealth, you know, wealthy people do these, but wealthy people do these things. They do those 3 things. They make sure they have a financial education. They have a financial coach or somebody that they're getting advice for, and they have a financial game plan. And so I asked them, do you have those 3 things? Because if that's what you're looking for to create what generational wealth, you need to have these 3 things.
Wow.
Right. And so once they can help them say, well, I don't, okay, no problem. Let's fill these holes. Here I am. I'm that person for you until you get to that point of you're also sharing this information with others. Because if I can get you empowered, you know, moms, we can talk. It's like, girl,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yes. I love that. I love that. That's awesome.
So yeah, so that's one of the things that I like to do with them, and just showing them how it is to really educate and empower themselves when it comes to building, having those 3 things. Pay yourself first, right?
Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. I don't care if it's a quarter, a nickel, a dime, something. Don't put everything back into the business. You know, because we get the mindset, well, I want my business to grow. Yes, you want your business to grow, but you also want your business to be sustainable in the growth. You want to also see your what's your labor as well.
Yeah, like the time that we're putting in.
Yeah. You're doing a new product. You're getting something else. You know, you're pouring it. but it's not you.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy that. So celebrating those small wins, that's a small win for you. Oh, that's a small
It's a
win. Put
huge
that in
win.
there.
Yeah, it's a huge
Yeah,
win.
yeah. We have a saying, of every mickle make a muckle, right? Every little bit counts. That quarter, that dollar, that $5, you keep consistently doing that, the sky's the limit.
Mm,
The sky's the limit just by being
I
consistent.
love that.
That's the thing.
It's like the
Just being
compound
consistent.
effect.
That's correct.
Did you ever read that book,
That's
The Compound Effect?
no, I haven't.
You will
No.
really enjoy it because he does get into
Yeah. Okay.
finances and he talks about
Mm,
how a little bit like that can grow exponentially if you
okay.
let it. Yeah,
Yes,
I love it.
I'm all about self-development books. I
Me
love
too. I have
self-improvement, financial.
tons of them. I love to read. Well, let's talk about some celebrating. So you talked about how we can celebrate ourselves. Let's talk about some clients that you have worked with. So I would love, if you'd like to share any type of success story of moms that you have worked with who have achieved significant milestones or accomplishments through your coaching.
Awesome. So I just had a couple of that I'm working with right now. One particular beautiful young lady. She's actually a pastor,
Ooh,
and she said when I met her, she says, I've been praying and asking. I needed help with my business, with my branding, just getting my message clear, just making sure that I'm consistent in my social media and in her digital products as well, and just how to be able to utilize those things. And when I finished with her, and she said, I just want you to know you're my answer to my prayers. And I felt so
that feels
humbled.
so good.
Then she said to me, she said, I'm not, if you let me go, that's fine, but I'm not letting you go. There's still some things that I need. And what that does for me, because I'm a hand holder. I'm gonna hold you, I'm gonna show you exactly, go through. You have
You're a
questions, okay,
mom.
no problem.
Moms
Yes,
are
I'm a
hand
mom.
holders.
I'm holding you all the way. And she said, I needed that. And so that's what I find with a lot of my clients, is that they need that hand holding, because oftentimes in a bigger setting, they may be embarrassed or
Right.
just uncomfortable.
Right.
Should they ask you a question? And so now, I'm making it really easy for them, where it's just like, listen, it's okay. If you don't understand it, it's not a problem. I'm going to show you. And if you need help again, I'm still here to support you. Then I had another young lady, the first time I did her discovery call with her, and she's talking until the point we were getting a breakthrough, and she's crying. And she says, I never thought that I was going to be able to recover from some of the losses that she was experiencing in her business, because she lost her luster. She lost her zeal. She lost her passion.
Mhm.
And so just to having the ability to reaffirm her, say, listen, this is the plan that we're going to do. And we worked that plan. We worked it. She came back, cried again, right? She was just like, you don't know what you have done for me.
That's so
And
sweet.
just reassuring me, that I still can do it.
Mhm.
She said to me, someone asked me, she does yoni steams.
Oh.
And she has a brick and mortar, and she wanted to get it also into the online space. And she said, I had a client that asked me if I do speaking engagements. And she said, at first I said no. And I said, what did I? She said, but I thought about what you said, that I'm going to have to get out my side. I'm going to have to get outside my comfort zone, because then opportunities are going to come to me.
Right.
Outside of, once you put yourself out there and you've made a decision, opportunities are going to come.
Right.
She said, I went back to the person and I told them yes. I did. So she said, that's why I came back to you, because I know you had to helping me with the public speaking and the coaching. And I said, the same way you talk to me and you shared information is the same way that you're going to stand on that stage, that platform, and share the information that you know, because that is who you are. Because people are going to connect with you,
Right.
with your passion. You don't have to be like anybody else. Because the first thing she says, but I don't talk that eloquent. It doesn't matter. You have to be you, and you show up as yourself. And she was like, so now she's coming to the clubhouse. She's opening up rooms for. She's going on the YouTube, and I'm like, yes,
that's awesome.
Just show up. Yes, just show up for yourself.
That's awesome. So how do you celebrate, like, with them? Like, do you
Oh,
do anything with your clients to celebrate? Like, do they get a certificate, or like do you do dance parties? Like, I don't know what you do, but how do you celebrate
so
with them?
so I celebrate with them. They receive a card in the mail,
Okay.
and with the card, there's a treat
Aw.
that they get as well. And the card just says, just thank you for showing up and being you.
Mm.
Remember that the most important person that you want to please is yourself. And as you continue to celebrate your milestones, no matter how small that they are, you're going to see your bigger. You're going to identify your bigger wins sooner, right? And of course, that little treat, that sweet treat that they get is always a little icing. But that little thing, I have a client. It's called send out cards, and so I just do it online, and it will send them a card, not an e-card, but an actual card to the house. So when they get there, they open their mouth, they see that, oh, this is a card. That just kind of gives them that personal touch outside of the email, outside of texting. Yeah, I email and I text, but the card,
Yeah,
yeah, and that
especially
little
like
treat.
handwritten. That feels really, really good.
Yes.
I love it.
Mhm.
Incredible, incredible. All right, Melanie, we're getting ready to wrap up here. So for viewers who are interested in working with you and receiving personalized support, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Awesome. So the best rate, thank you so much, David. Just go to teachermelanie.com,
Okay.
and I have a link for a complimentary discovery Zoom.
Okay.
That's the first point of contact. And once we get together from there, then we figure out what type of plan we will get to that's going to be best for that mom. And that's pretty much it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So just teachermelanie.com. Woo!
So do you like to do one-on-one coaching, or is it group coaching, membership? Like what does it look like for them?
So right now I am doing one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
And I also, yeah, so right now it's one-on-one coaching. I'm actually finishing up my self-pace. So that's going to happen probably by next month. But right now it is the one-on-one coaching that is available.
Incredible. All right, you guys. Well, please take the time to follow Teacher Melanie on all platforms. She's everywhere. I've seen you everywhere. So make sure that you look her up, and then go check out her website. Make sure you guys get that discovery call and look into her coaching. Again, Melanie, thank you so much for trusting the Mom Link as part of your business journey. We're so grateful to you that you have joined us. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's spotlight. We love you already so much. You are our family, and we will do whatever we can to support you. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say before we close out?
Just to say that, moms, no matter where you are in your journey, you have a gift and a talent that someone needs. Even if somebody is in the same industry that you're in, just remember that your uniqueness, your flair is not in there. And so you have something to offer. So don't be selfish and hold it to yourself, because the world needs what you have.
Yes.
Remember, you have something. So you cannot afford to keep it to yourself. God created you for this time and this season. All your experiences, it wasn't about you, but it's about helping somebody to get what they need through your guidance. So thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. That was beautiful. All right, you guys. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.